Good evening, Cleveland, and welcome to our first video update, Browns news of the new season. Can you feel it? Can you feel the football in the air? So today is a very good day, I suppose, to get started into doing a few little videos. Maybe this is the first time that I've produced a video that hasn't been outside showcasing nature or environment or whatever, but unfortunately in the real world that opportunity doesn't present itself all the time. So for today you'll have to make do with my kitchen wall as a backdrop. So three little things quickly I want to talk about today. Taylor Lewan missing from the Titans for the first game opener of the season. That's huge news for Myles Garrett especially. So we're going to be looking at Myles Garrett having a big day there, and all the D-line being very prepared to face a depleted line for the Titans. So that's great news on the Titans front for the first game for the opener for the season. Just finished watching the press conference with Dorsey and Freddy. Freddy came across really, really well. Waiting to see who the first person out of the gates with the parachute t-shirt will be. So Cleveland t-shirt makers, I know it's going to be on Twitter tomorrow. And on the subject of Twitter, John Dorsey doesn't operate in the same world as we do. He operates in a world where we have Twitter and Instaface. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Part of me says John Dorsey is so busy and wrapped up in football that he has no time for this shit. Brilliant. Another part of me is a bit concerned that you would be that out of touch with the world we live in now. But anyhow, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and go with the first one. And the last thing I want to talk about quickly, training camp getting on the way tomorrow. 3 battles, 3 areas I think we all need to look out for. First of all, cornerback. Will Greedy cement his place on the team ahead of Money Mitchell, I suppose, really? That'll be an interesting battle to watch out for. Basically, the first 2 of these battles we're going to talk about are really going to be, well, all 3 battles are involving Dorsey picks, so it's going to be interesting to see. The second battle that I'm really looking forward to keeping an eye on is right guard. At the moment, Corbett is there. For some reason, it has never been expressed. The confidence has never been expressed in Corbett since he's come in the door. This does lead me to have some concerns without really seeing him playing a whole lot. My hope is that Corbett gets in, cements the position, takes all the snaps, gets all the first team reps, and he's our new right guard. I have a suspicion that may not be what happens. We'll see. Interesting one to look at. And the last one to look at, and most interesting I think from a Dorsey point of view, is the kicker battle. Austin Seibert and Greg Joseph. If Greg Joseph comes out into camp, balls out, and is clearly a better kicker than Austin Seibert at the moment, there's a problem. Because John Dorsey has now wasted a 5th round pick on a kicker. Where do we go with that? I hope that if that is the case, that Dorsey has the required nuts to cut bait on Seibert and move on. We'll see. It's going to be very interesting. It could be the first. Yeah, if Corbett doesn't end up at right guard, and if Greedy doesn't end up nailing down the second corner slot or spot after Denzel, and if Greg Joseph is our kicker, that's not all good news for John Dorsey, and it'll form part of a giant shit sandwich that he's going to have to eat sometime soon. But anyhow, that's enough for today. I think it's going to be interesting over the coming days to see how it all pans out. We did a podcast with John Colosimo last night that we put out. I'll put the link on and under the video here. So at 2greenbrowns on Twitter, myself at John Cal _IRL, and my co-host Neil at Jim Custard on Twitter. You'll get us all there. So please go on, check out the podcast. Went a lot more in depth into these battles, and John Colosimo has some very interesting insights on that front. So please go ahead, check out the pod. And we'll be back in the next couple of days with some more reviews when we have some more news, and maybe get back to doing some nice outside videos when we get a chance. See you later. Go Brownies.